Salutations, nerds. We're watching the MCU and all of its...
something.
Corey? Stall?
All of its Corey!
Welcome back to Phased Out, everybody. The show designed to make Nick hate the MCU.
He got me this time.
I think we got him this time.
Burn it down to the ground!
At the very least, burn the quantum realm.
If we burned it down, I think they kind of did. Well, I think a certain actor did. Anyway, this week we're watching such a fun movie, Quantumania.
To be fair, I did have more fun watching it this time because
I
I knew I hated it, so I was able to just make fun of it while I watched it.
I believe I played the new Legend of Zelda game the most of the way through it.
And I'm Checkers. Sorry. If you know the reference, you know the reference.
All right, let's talk about the controversy in the room first. Catherine Newton playing Cassie Lang. What do we think, guys? Recasting.
I like Catherine Newton.
I didn't realize there was a difference.
I did because I go, hey, that's Catherine Newton.
Hey, I know
she
her.
wasn't in Endgame.
She became famous between these movies.
So she got recast or recassied.
For the third time. This is the third actress to play Cassie.
Because before, and it makes sense because the time jump. But now it's like, it's just like, oh, we need an actual like known person.
Yep. Someone who we know can act.
I mean, the other one only had like one scene.
Yeah.
Well, two, but the second one she wasn't saying anything. They were just sitting there under the stars. Oh, that was my hip. And then yeah, this movie it's pretty bad. It's pretty ugly looking. I
want to know why it's. I want to know why it's one of the brightest movies I've ever seen, like vibrant colors, and also one of the darkest movies I've ever seen.
Muddiest movies ever.
It looks like they lit everybody's face with a spotlight that was about this big, and it's all yellow, but not like the Coldplay yellow.
Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you.
That would have been nice if there were stars in the quantum realm or anything in the
That
quantum
would have
realm.
been really weird if there were stars in the quantum realm.
They could be any. They don't have to be our kind of stars.
I still really don't understand how the quantum realm works, but that's not important to this conversation. So
I just remember they announced the title. I go, oh goody, another one, because I don't really like the other two.
See, but the way they advertised it, they kind of advertised it like Thor Ragnarok. So I thought it was going to be like fun and colorful and kind of crazy, and it was none of those things.
It's the least funny Ant-Man movie.
Oh,
by
probably
far.
The worst Ant-Man movie.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst MCU movies. There's only one MCU movie to me personally that I dislike more.
And yet the forward progression of the MCU at the time lynched on this.
This was a cornerstone movie for the MCU.
Yeah, this was supposed to set up, officially, the Kang Dynasty thing they were building towards. Because Kang had been set up previously in Loki, that final episode, to which that whole episode I sat there, I have no idea who that is or what's going on. You did.
As somebody who did, I was having the time of my life with He Who Remains at the end of Loki. It was so good. His performance is phenomenal in that. I watched it on the way over here.
Is that a different Kang that's in the Loki ending?
Yes.
That's Kang the Conversationalist.
Yes.
Conversationalist with a K.
Kang the Kooky guy. Kooky Kang.
Is that going to be in the next DK game?
Yes.
All right.
DK.
Nope, don't say that joke, Jared. So everything hinged on this villain. This is like the coming out party for the villain officially, and they had the Loki tease at the end. Is he in Loki season 2?
I don't believe so. I have not finished. I've only seen like the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Okay.
He's supposed to be because he's at the trailer at the end of it.
That's what we just mentioned. Yeah, they had that Loki tease. But yeah, I was wondering if he was in that second season. But they axed him because he had
was found guilty of assault charges.
Yep, domestic violence or whatever. It's one thing to have a lawsuit or claims, but he's convicted. Mm-hmm. So and then I think it was that day they let him go, right? And they had to basically throw away all this planning that they were doing for this.
It was the most planning they had so far. Like everything else is kind of just thrown by the wayside.
Technically, they could just do a thing where he's on screen, He pulls off the mask, and it's Robert Downey Jr. now, everybody!
Which would make more sense, because I believe, could be wrong, there's like a relation to Tony Stark and Kang.
Is there?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think there is with Reed Richards as well.
But he's but he's also not Tony Stark anymore.
He's Doom Von Stank!
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to yell that. Trying to inject some energy into myself after last week's slog and then this week's
somber occasion.
Yeah, there were 3 funerals last week. We lost T'Challa, rest in peace. We lost Queen Ramonda, rest in peace. And then I lost my sanity.
Rest in peace.
That didn't take much, did it?
No. But then this week,
The movie just feels like a waste, man.
I
literally don't think I have anything good to say about this movie.
I have some good things to say.
Yeah.
You better get them out quickly.
Very few. I think there are times, very few, where the Quantumania or the Quantum Realm looks beautiful. And that's when they're flying on the Stingray and it goes into the water and the water turns like blue and sparkly. That's cool. The multiple Scots is kind of cool, and then until it's not.
See, I don't like that because it
ends up being dumb and muddy and horrible to look at, but the idea of it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this looked bad.
That's what I got.
That castle that Citadel thing looked bad.
I will
Why
say,
was Rita Repulsa in this movie?
What? Say that again.
Why was Rita Repulsa in this movie?
Rita Repulsa.
From Power Rangers.
Power Rangers villain.
Oh, I know.
Her likeness is comparable to the leader of
The rebellion.
Rebellion. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I had my reference that none of you get, then you had the reference that I won't get. So now you need to reference something before the episode's done that neither of us or one of us won't get.
Got it.
To balance it out.
I got you guys. Don't worry.
The biggest disappointment outside of the victim of the real life circumstance, because that's always going to be worse, is the fact that Jonathan Majors is extremely talented, and there are parts of his performances where I was like, yeah, this guy's got it. He's got presence. He's intimidating. He's a great actor. And
It's honestly a good follow-up to what Josh Brolin did.
yeah, like hinging everything on this guy as your villain is a great idea. It's just a shame that his personal issues are what they are, and now, there are consequences. And again, the bigger the bigger thing is the victim. But within the universe, it's he's really good, because this same year was Creed 3, Cathreed, as I called it. So I have to find that poster somewhere. But really good actor, but it's just a shame.
Yep.
That was like, if not for the off-screen personal issues, that would have been my the villain is actually decent for once in an MCU movie. Not saying that he isn't a decent part of the movie. Yeah. But when's the last time we had a great new villain? Because Spider-Man, I won't count because they were previously established in this conversation. I'm trying to think, because
a great new villain?
Yeah, that we haven't seen in a movie before. Like how Gore is new to the MCU. And that wasn't in a movie outside the MCU before. And that's a decent villain, but he's barely there. I'm trying to think what the last one was.
Where it was prominent?
Yeah, because then Doctor Strange, it's Wanda, but she was already pre-established in the MCU.
I think we get one next week with Guardians. I think the villain in that movie is really good and just evil for evil's sake.
Yeah.
But prior to that,
it's not Eternals,
Caecilius?
Well, Tony Leung and Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I think it's that.
Yeah.
He's the saving grace of that movie.
Yeah.
Without him being that good, it's much worse. And it's already not fantastic. But he is the part where we're he's in a completely different universe than the rest of this movie. So I'd say that's the last time. But still, at that point, that's 4 or 5 movies ago.
Yeah. A question for you guys about the Quantum Realm. Why did the Rebellion have immediate distrust of Scott and Cassie when there are human-like creatures down there? I feel like if we had no William Jackson Harper or Rita Repulsa or anything. Then it would make more sense. But we have humanoids all over the place.
I mean,
I don't know.
Isn't it?
Plus, I'm sure they all were aware of Janet at some point.
My brain is blanking. Bill Murphy.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
If Kang and Janet were the only human-like creatures down there, it would just make more sense.
Yeah, Bill
you would just
Murray
assume they're working with Kang because
Bill Murray
those are the only
even
ones you've seen.
says, "Yeah, I'm kind of human, but not also technically not."
Yeah. Just a dumb thing that I ran into during
Unless
this
they
watch
have
that I
like
kind of hated.
unless they have like some quantum sense, they can be like, "You're not from here."
You smell different.
Yeah.
You don't smell quantum enough.
It's another thing. I understand, because I looked this up, that they're called the Freedom Fighters in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
They slap quantum in front of everything. Why not just call them the Quantum Fighters?
Yeah.
It's right there. Last week we didn't get fish to fry. This week we don't get Quantum Fighters. They put it in front of everything else. You know, quantum. What is it? Well, you have
Quantum entanglement?
quantum entanglement. You know.
My
Quantum
quantum
ants.
beam.
I mean, if Bill Murray and Janet got freaky, they had quantumception.
All right, you can leave, Jared. You can go.
I'm just saying. You can slap it in front of everything. Yeah, that whole part is like, are they really talking about their alleged sexual history right in front of her husband? And all he's doing is sitting there going, I wonder where the ants are. You said once upon a time that you do not like Hank Pym in this movie.
No, he's dumb.
Yeah.
They made Hank Pym dumb. Like, yeah, he's always been an a-hole, but he's always been smart.
Every other word is ants.
Perfect.
I just remember you saying that, and then during the watch was like, I think I get it, because it's like every time we cut to, it's like, well, he can't be his super smart, sure self, because then we could figure this out really quick. So he's just like, I was just thinking about my ants.
It'd be better if he was trying to come up with solutions the whole time, and Janet's like, that's not going to work down here. You don't know what you're talking about, and just constantly her proving that she's got more knowledge of this place than him, where he's trying to take lead. But there's so many things they could have done that make this movie better, like not put Corey Stoll in it.
That is one of the worst CGI things I've ever seen. And again, we never fault the artists at work. It's more of the decision to do this, because most people that I've talked to who have any semblance of knowledge on MODOK say, yes, do not do this in live action. Mm-hmm. It's not supposed to work in live action, and it doesn't. That's one of the ugly. It just
Yeah.
And I don't.
Also, it doesn't help that they just give him human face proportions instead of, because they want it to look like Corey Stoll. MODOK has slightly different proportions, like bigger nose, bigger eyes, but this is just a stretched out face.
They could have just kept him in the helmet and used his voice.
Yeah.
That would have worked.
Or lift the helmet and his face is disfigured, so then he drops it back down or something. Like, give us a glimpse of it. Don't have it be the default look.
I don't even hate Corey Stoll at all.
No, me neither. I just hate him in these movies.
There's a lot more connections to the first one in this than the second one has to either one. Mm-hmm. That second one does feel kind of like a side adventure to everything, like we said.
Yeah.
Because there's so many callbacks to that first one. They bring up Baskin Robbins like 7 times.
In this one?
Yeah.
They're right, they do, because of that weird green cake at the end.
Yeah, there's the cake, and then like they bring up he brings up, like, in the narration, Baskin Robbins all the time, like when he's reading his book, and then the Baskin Robbins version of himself in the quantum realm when he's sacrificing all his copies to get to grab Kang's ball. So that's what he was doing.
I understand.
I know how I phrased it.
Haven't heard it like that before. Just give me a
You've
moment
read it
to
like
laugh
that.
at
That's how I worded it in my review.
Who said I read your entire review? I think
liked
it was like a page.
Because I realized I'm going to summarize this movie in my own words, because if I don't, I'm going to forget what happened. So I wrote a big long paragraph about all that happens in this movie. Did you take a look at it by chance? Gotcha. You should, because I want to hear your reaction to it. Not that it's clever. It's just
a breakdown.
It's just dumb. Because every other line is, Hank's thinking about ants. Oh, and I also say a lot. Hope
I like his
reacts.
Spider-Mans. Hope does react.
That's it. That's all she does in this movie. She doesn't do anything. It's called. I forgot it was called Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I thought it was Ant-Man Quantumania. I forgot it was Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Well, why doesn't the Wasp do anything except shoot things?
Cassie's new Wasp. Waspette.
I'll take that.
I mean, we kind of have to do that if Evangeline Lilly retired.
Yeah.
So, and I like Catherine Newton.
Boo this movie. Boo.
Boo this
Boo
movie.
this movie.
Boo this movie.
Yet another movie where David Esmalchin has the best performance as little blob guy.
Who has holes?
Who has holes?
I have holes.
Say there are 2 jokes that landed well with me in this movie. One is the shop owner calling Ant-Man Spider-Man, and Scott having to take a second to think about it. And when William Jackson Harper tells Scott he has 7 holes and he has to stop for a second and count them. And he goes, yeah, you're right. Those made me chuckle.
I counted 2.
Yep. I was like 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there is 7.
Yeah.
I counted faster than Scott, so yay me.
And the second half of the Spider-Man thing where, oh yeah, you're the ant guy. We got it wrong. $12.
Yep.
Or whatever. I go, okay, that's funny. They charge him if they know who he is. Oh, and then what's the agent's name?
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah. One shot. No lines.
Quick shot.
Yeah.
Very quick shot.
They're just sitting there with where someone buys him drinks at the beginning while he's reading from his book, and I thought, they did him dirty.
Yeah, why bring Randall Park in for a shot? Pointless. He must have been next door filming something else for Disney.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were gonna bring up a waste of a certain actor that you like.
Yeah, William Jackson Harper is so fun and charismatic, and I've liked him in everything he's been in. And you have him in here as dumb telepath guy that has basically no name and no connection to Marvel.
Oh, he has a name.
I mean, he has a name, but not one that's connected to anything in the comics.
What's his name? I want to see if you remember.
It's Quo something.
Yep. You're halfway there.
Quack?
You're close.
Quar?
You'll get there eventually.
Quick.
No.
Quiz.
Oh, close.
Quaz.
Yeah.
Quaz. I knew it was short and started with a Q.
I had a little anecdote that you both know of
Quasimodo?
I could tell you a whole story about that, but got done with the movie and I was just thinking about that's the mind reader guy. Where have I seen him before? A friend of the podcast, Hammy goes, Midsummer. Oh yeah, that guy. He really made that garden look nice. But he's more prominently known for
The Good Place,
which I have not seen, but you both have seen it.
I've seen most of it, yeah, and he is phenomenal in it.
You also didn't finish it, did you? That's right.
Yeah, I haven't watched the last season because I don't finish things.
Yep. If we've never mentioned it, Nick doesn't finish shows that he really likes because he doesn't want it to end.
I don't want to know. I want to, in my head, I just want my characters to be exactly where I left them in the spot that I enjoyed the show still, and not in the final seasons where they usually fall apart. So
I guess I could see where you would like that.
And then you get into situations like Firefly, where I've seen all but the last episode, but I've also seen Serenity, which takes place after all of it. Yeah, I should probably go back and watch that last episode someday.
And I'm like the opposite of you because I'll trudge through a show just to get to the end because I'm an endings guy.
You can't let the show win.
What?
You can't let the show win. By stopping watching it, you're letting the show win.
Yep.
No, it's less of that's more of I'm an endings guy. I like the big bombastic ending where characters come back and there's the goodbyes and I love it. I love when it's a good show that just the biggest thing in the show is the ending. Because there are shows I've stopped. I stopped watching House of Cards. Take a wild guess why I stopped watching House of Cards.
Did he kill that dog in that one episode? The first episode?
No, I got into the 4th season.
That one with Kevin Spacey?
Yes.
That's why.
Yep. All that dropped in 2017. All that news came out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with the show. And he's not even in the last season. I hear it's horrible after that. And it's like, it's a shame that we have to remove him and the show gets worse. But also, I don't like watching this.
Yeah.
So, there's a show I just never finished. Eastbound and Down is another show I started and just...
I also didn't finish that.
I think I got halfway through season 2, and because I was watching it because I was borrowing it from my cousin back in college, and I remember watching it like, people have said this is funny, and they really like it. I watched that whole first season and was like, I don't really like this. I get the point is Danny McBride's character is supposed to be insufferable, but it's not funny insufferable. It's just annoying. And then I got halfway through season 2 trying to like it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't finish this. It's too obnoxious.
That's the exact reason I didn't watch any of his follow-up shows, where he's basically playing the same character, just doing different
Kenny
professions.
Powers?
Yeah. I'm good on that. I don't dislike Danny McBride.
No.
But there's a lot of times where I don't like his performance.
Oh, yeah, he's one of my least favorite parts of This Is the End.
Yep.
The second he enters the movie, it gets way worse for me. Way more annoying, and I was already not having a good time. A lot of people love that movie. I do not like that movie. I think I might even hate that movie, which I don't hate a lot of movies.
This is the okay. The thing where
we've covered it on this podcast.
Yeah, the thing where the rape joke goes on.
Oh my gosh,
way too long.
That's a whole. And we covered that.
Yeah, we talked about that at length. Probably not quite as long as the joke goes on for, but
yeah, there is a thing that I like Danny McBride in, and it's up in the air. Side character. Like, he's a very small part. He has a really good scene with George Clooney, and I was like, I like this, mainly because he's not being obnoxious. He's just acting like a person.
He's not playing typical Danny McBride.
He feels like a real person in that scene, too. I think none of these people in this movie feel real.
Especially when the setting...
They're not real.
Yeah.
So in the other Ant-Man movies, you actually sort of feel like he's wearing the suit. I don't think that's the case here. I very rarely think they're wearing the suit. Actually wearing it, I think it's just their head that we see.
I very rarely think they're in the same room as each other.
That bad?
At times.
Okay.
There are some times where it's like, okay, you haven't done a dual shot where you're both standing here, so I just have to assume you were in the same room with each other.
Kang is this ultra powerful being, and he shoots the blue stuff out of his hands. And how does he fight Scott in a room to get to a hole? He just punches him a bunch. He punches him so hard he breaks.
Every Marvel movie end with punching?
Yep. And he's punching him, and then he's got him on the ground. He's broken the helmet, and he is just kicking away at him. And I'm like, dude, he's just some guy. He's bleeding and all. Ugh. Just run through the hole. It's right there. You've waited this long, and you're just going to stand here yelling at him? I get it's a villain thing, but it's like, just go through the hole. Yeah. Why is it the last 2 weeks villains can accomplish their goal, and they choose not to?
Especially Kang, who has conquered many a universe.
Yeah, just walk through.
Yeah,
and you win.
This is what you do, is destroy things.
Yeah, and then the fight was bad. Oh, the shot of him evaporating into that thing, into his ball chamber thing, looked real rough.
Anyway, we're back with everybody's favorite segment. Jared, did you get a chance to watch Dutch? I know that myself, this felt like it took all week to watch. How about you? Did you get a chance to watch Dutch?
No, I was recovering after watching this.
Jared, you're running out of time to watch this movie before this podcast.
You need to. I mean, as the Marvel movies continue to come out and we cover them, I will continue to ask you to watch Dutch.
You'll have bigger gaps to watch this movie.
Yeah, you'll have less of a reason to not watch Dutch. And it's at the time of recording, we're almost to October, so we're getting to
the holiday
Dutch time of
season,
year.
Yes.
That is true, but I mean, I just been busy. I've had big fish boys to fry.
With little flappy wings.
Wings. Funny little fish, man.
Should send Jared to the Quantumania where time runs slower. Gives him plenty of time to watch Dutch.
Oh, do you know how many movies I could watch if time went slower? So
Same
many.
amount, because time would go slower for you.
So a question about the time slowing down. Why is... What's her name?
Janet.
I was going to say Joanna, and I knew that was wrong. Why did she age normally in the quantum realm, and is it still the same age as Hank if everything slows down?
No. You're
Does
doing
aging slow down?
You're doing too much with this. They just don't explain it at all. We just have to take it at face value.
Quantum aging.
And did they mention that the ants were aging faster or maturing faster, and that's why they're...
I don't know. They're in a different part of the quantum realm, so it works differently,
Quantum
obviously.
ants.
It is kind of funny when Hank Pym shows back up and just goes, and they just flood.
He didn't say it, but he thought it. I also hate how, and I thought this while watching it in theaters, just we have this giant multiverse villain who's ultra powerful, and how do we beat him down? We just throw ants at him. I remember thinking too, this is the franchise we're gonna like fully introduce him. Ant-Man, not anyone else.
It's a good way to do it because the quantum realm is separated so much from everything else that's happening. You can't say, well, what? He's an Avengers level threat. Why weren't the Avengers there? Because he was in the quantum realm.
And also, it makes sense that he's locked away and exiled and this and that. It just could have been done in a better movie.
What if he was in the mirror dimension and Doctor Strange has to fight him there? That'd be a great fight.
That would have been better, but Doctor Strange already got his movie for the week. Year. I don't...
Too bad we couldn't have visited one more multiverse to see. Yeah. Nope, could only see one.
It is funny how they're crashing through all those multiverses, and, she's punching people with their star hands, America. And not once did Kang ever sniff that out. Instead, it was Wanda.
Yeah.
I think it's Wanda. Just, I feel like Kang, who's trying to get out of there, would somehow... I don't know.
Jared, at this point, don't try to make sense of the MCU. It doesn't make sense. Just a bunch of crazy people throwing things at the wall and hoping it sticks. Like hands. They can stick to walls.
Yeah. You know what else is sticky? The weird thing you use to drive ships that, go over your arms.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
All the way in.
Someone liked that in the movie. I bet. I don't know where they are, but they probably sat there and went, oh, yeah, you do that, Michael Douglas.
Ants.
They're still talking about Janet getting freaky with Bill Murray in the ship, and I was like, this would be so much funnier if I cared.
Yep.
And if it should be a passing comment, and Hank should, look at her, and then they get interrupted, and then in the ship he brings it up again. But they don't do that. Also, that fight sucks at that club. Bill Murray's pointless. He shows up just for them to say, we have a history. Oh, yeah, I'm a bad guy now. And then he just gets eaten. We don't even see it, really. The big squid thing.
He gets eaten, though?
I think
so.
I think it's, pulling him in, but we don't even, see it. It's not in focus. It's in the background. It's, for such an important character in this one little moment, we sure just kind of murk him for just like that. That was such a lame fight.
All the fights in this were pretty lame. Sadly. I like the sentient buildings. That's it on that.
The one guy who has, a cup head, but he's not Cuphead, and he just shoots yellow.
Oh.
And then when he died, I go, oh, no, not that guy.
You would describe his head as a cup?
I'd call it a lantern.
For a second, I thought it was the canister that held the ball.
The ball chamber.
Yeah.
A Men in Black type thing where it's
Ball
on
Chinian?
Orion's belt.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Balchinian.
Or that.
I mean, he kind of looked cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole sequence with the freedom fighters and Kang's forces attacking and MODOK's introduction was bad. The end of MODOK's... Well, the little talk with Cassie, I was like... Don't be a dick. It's dumb.
Yeah, no, that's really stupid.
I actually kind of like that. A little bit.
All right, Nick.
I know what it's about.
He turns for no reason, too. She, crushes him, and he's just instantly I guess I'm a good guy. And then he just comes swarming in. I'm not a dick. And I was like, ugh. And then his death scene, under different circumstances, could have worked, where he... At least I die an Avenger, and he's like, Scott, you've always had a brother, and he's putting his mechanical arm on him. I go, this could work in another context, but it is another, we're kind of being funny during what's supposed to be a serious death scene. Yeah. Not too serious because it's Ant-Man, but I was like, and they're all just standing there while it's happening, and they just turn around and say, okay, on with everything else.
Done with that character. Bye. I'm done with this movie. I'm done with Ant-Man.
Like,
and I love Paul Rudd. And I don't mind the first two
I
Ant-Man
really,
movies.
really, genuinely didn't like his monologues at the beginning and end of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have no real reason why, but I was so annoyed in that last bit where he's like, did I just kill everybody? Like, you're just trying to force tension in this thing that you're trying to pivot around.
I do like the scene, the little quick thing. It's another thing. Him and Hank's back and forths are some of the funniest parts of the first two, and they barely interact in this movie.
Yeah.
The whole, you read my book? Every damn page.
Also, like, yeah,
I laughed at that.
They're also like best buddies now,
Yeah.
kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was going to say, again, the thing that we brought up in the second movie, the whole, you destroyed my suit? That was my life's work. And then later, you didn't destroy my suit? What were you thinking? Like, this, there's no winning.
Yep.
That's funny. And then in this, like, he wrote a book about his exploits and saving the world, and they clown him about it when they're eating the little pizza that gets bigger. That was weird. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then I go, yeah, push into that a little more, because it's supposed to be, he's a little full of himself at this point, and he's constantly reminding them of his good deeds. But that doesn't become anything in this movie, because no one has an arc in this movie.
Nope.
At all.
Nope. Everybody's the same.
Yeah, the whole movie. There's nothing. And, like, it's, well, is there some kind of, like, gap or, like, wedge between father and daughter? Because, again, he missed 5 years of her life. Are we going to do kind of a he's trying to catch up? Not only are we not doing that, it's hard to, because he was always a good dad, so we can't even tap that
Yeah, it's
for
like
something.
mentioned once or twice, and immediately Cassie's apologetic about it and understands the situation. She's just a little angsty, and then it's
And not
forgotten.
even much. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because the easy thing to do for this kind of story is he missed 5 years. He still treats her like a little kid, even though she's like 16, 17, 18. You know what I mean? He's treating her like she's still younger. That's like the easiest story thing in the world. But we would be harping on it for being cliche. Unless it was done well, which probably wouldn't have been done very well. So instead, as I've said for other Marvel movies in the last couple weeks, it feels like they're trying to subvert cliches by not doing anything.
Uh-huh. They want to do their own thing, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah. It's, well, we're not going to do the same old story. We're just not going to do a story. Think about the whole story of this movie. It's they get sucked into the quantum realm, and they just want to get out, which you can have plots like that, but there's nothing else going on.
And Janet's the only one that knows what's going on, but she won't tell anybody what's going on. It's all secrets. Even when everybody's in the quantum realm.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumb liar reveal that never really gets revealed except to the watcher.
Yeah.
The exposition dump on the ship. The whole backstory.
Yeah, like
thing.
the whole backstory is like, did she actually tell them, or is it just like, what is it with Marvel now where we're just kind of like, hey, we're gonna give you all the backstory in the middle of my movie.
Mm-hmm.
In one scene, all at once, and you're going to sit here for 10 minutes while we do the whole thing.
Hey, no, they didn't do the whole thing at once. They cut back to her face.
Oh, good.
I kind of wish we wouldn't have seen King at the beginning. Like the opening scene with him and Janet. I wish that wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those.
right?
It's one of those things where it's like, we already know that he's Kang. Like, why?
And we already knew she was there. The movie should have just started with the logo, and then like the song playing, and then him narrating. That's why do we have two openings to the movie? Now that I think about it, it's like, yeah.
Like when that happened, I was just like, that was pointless. Why did we see that?
What a dumb movie. What a stupid movie.
Poorly thought out and executed. Just
And now pointless. And that's not their fault. But at the same time, they put all their eggs in this basket for this villain, and now they're having to change everything, which we know, because Doom Von Stank is on the way. But then they're going to look back at this movie and be like, yeah, what a waste of time. It literally is a waste of time.
$200 million.
Yeah. How did it do box office? Do you remember?
Terribly, if I remember correctly.
Compared to
You think
other
they'll make
Marvel
another
movies.
Ant-Man movie?
What was that?
You think they'll make another Ant-Man movie?
As long as Paul Rudd will suit up.
I mean, if they can somehow... I think they need to get a different director. I think they need to bring back Diet Right.
This is Peyton Reed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did all 3.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and now with Evangeline Lilly apparently retired, it's like, well, now you have to, if you do another Ant-Man, we get to write her out of it.
That would make the movie better.
You're not wrong.
I'm sorry, I don't like Evangeline Lilly.
Neither do I.
Thank you. Someone finally agrees with me. I know you have sort of agreed.
Yeah, I've never disagreed with you on that once.
Let me have this one, Jared.
I let you have it every time. You literally say it every time she comes up. I say, yeah.
That's because I don't like her.
Then why'd you say, let me have this one? I let you have every single one.
because I'm tired.
With watching Marvel movies?
Yes. I've been also everything in life.
I got tired in Phase 2, and then 3 gave me a little hope, and then
Why
after
do you think
Endgame,
we called this
I
show
just
phased out?
We
just keep getting more and more tired.
Oh.
It's like walking through molasses. Except I can't walk, so you'll have to pull me.
I was waiting through the movies, and then Eternals just ripped any energy I had out of these movies.
And there was nothing there to reinvigorate
it?
Yeah, reinvigorate it.
Because, like, I don't like Spider-Man as much as a lot of people. That third one, I like it, but, like, not... People love it. And so, like, that didn't give me a ton of juice to keep going. And then it's just... Doctor Strange was better than I thought I was going to think it was on a second watch. And then the last 3 are just slogs. This one's only 2 hours. I say only 2 hours, but I know that's like their normal length of these when they're not 3 hours long. But still, it's like, it's rough. And next week is better, but I am very tired. And we still got a couple more after next week that aren't great. Not this level.
Yeah, they're not the worst. Actually, I think I like all the next 3 movies to varying degrees.
They're very different movies from each other,
different.
but we're almost at the end, and I'm almost out of energy. I just can't keep doing
Only
this.
2 left, right?
It's 3.
3. The Marvels.
Yep. Which
luckily,
it's
I
short.
enjoy.
And it's short.
And it's got Iman Vellani in it, so there's something to keep me interested.
Yeah. There's good things. It's short. It's like 105 minutes or something like that.
I think it's definitely the one I was most excited about before seeing it, and I think it's definitely the most interesting one that's been released since
And
No
also,
Way
like,
Home.
it got ragged on so much, and it took me a while to watch it, that when I watched it and enjoyed it, I feel like I enjoyed it more because of how much people said it was terrible.
I don't think it was that terrible. I think there are things missing from it.
Agreed.
And I think that like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a better movie for sure.
yeah.
But
Compared
for
to what we've been going through.
For what it is, it's fun.
Yeah.
And they wasted Katie O'Brien. I know we brought her up without saying her name much, but I like Katie O'Brien. And she just says, fight, and let's go. And that's it.
Also, if all he had to do was kick the stupid thing, why did we watch an hour and a half of battle?
Yep.
All he had to do was kick it and the whole thing went down. Stupid movie.
It's the whole, now that he can get big and not get too tired because he's used to it, it's like, why doesn't he just do that all the time? And he's in the quantum realm. How does it affect it there? That's the other thing. Isn't the whole... Here we go. Isn't the whole point of shrinking is they're using quantum particles? The PIM particles are quantum things, right? So you shrink. But if you're like in the actual realm, do they work the same? Or would you, if you shrink, do you go to a different level of the quantum realm like the ants did?
Good question, Jared.
Yeah.
This movie isn't good enough to answer them.
No. Anything else?
Can't wait for Ant-Man.
Does this
4.
movie have any music in it?
Not very interesting music.
No.
I can't even think of anything.
It's just more like ambiance music. Nothing, no big scores or anything like that. No themes of any sort.
It's Christoph Beck, I bet. Where are you?
I didn't know Jared had grudges against certain composers.
It is. I don't have a
Is
grudge
it
with
actually?
him. It actually is. Which I think I pointed out a couple weeks ago. Like, he's done a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
So this is just paycheck. Michael Paraskevas, Mike helped him too. So there were two composers.
We can blame both of them.
So I bet you Christoph, he waltzed in, and they said, okay, you want to sign this contract to do X amount of Marvel? Sure. And then it's like, oh, yeah, there's an Ant-Man movie in there. Okay. He probably wrote a couple little themes down on his little keyboard on his phone, just and then just passed it off to Mike, and Mike filled out the rest of the orchestrations. And they said, there you go, copy, paste, the end.
And they shared a glass of milk together.
Yeah. Nothing against the talents of them, more of this feels like a paycheck. Because if I was them, I would not care about putting my all into this movie. I would put it into stuff I probably care about more.
Yeah, but this movie has so much potential for a fun score because you're in a quantum realm. Like, you can create music that you wouldn't hear in the overworld or whatever. You could be weird and experimental with it, but they're not.
Nope, not at all.
Boo on this movie.
Boo.
Council of Kings at the end was probably the best scene in the movie.
It is, and it's not even in the movie.
Nope.
It's the mid credit, because the after credit, as we said, is the Loki thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which both of those things go nowhere now.
Yeah, they're two end credit scenes that are as poignant.
I don't know. I don't know that you can say that about Loki because he got fired before the end of season 2 of Loki, right?
My guess is he would have filmed everything.
Maybe.
I think the show was already going to come out before he got.
They'll think of some way to sidestep it.
Yep. Oh, I know. Doom Von Stank.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I got.
All I got.
Time for everybody's favorite segment. Nick, did you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Did they involve Kang in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week?
They did not, and I did not.
Oh.
Instead, I just went back and watched He Who Remains' monologue at the end of Loki. It was real good. Jonathan Majors, great performer.
Great performer. Not so great dude.
Allegedly. I mean, actually, not allegedly. Convictedly.
He did have great conviction in his performance, so I will say that. Again, the council, where he's like yelling at himself.
Mm-hmm.
Such a waste of potential, and a shame that there's a victim in this and all that. Just want to make sure that's above anything artistic.
I wish they hadn't have shown the Council of Kings as to all being Jonathan Majors, and you could recast it as those are just a different variant, and I look different, or something.
What's the bet that they're gonna do that? And just say, "Oh, it's Robert Downey Jr.'s character now."
Maybe I think they're gonna do the Robert Downey Jr. thing, leave some time between, and then maybe try King again. I just hope people forgot once they relaunch the universe.
I did have an interesting thing. Last week, I don't know if we were talking about it on or off camera, but we were talking about whether or not X-Men 97 is a part of the MCU. It is. It is officially a part of the multiverse saga. I know that because Disney Plus has it in the chronological multiverse saga thing.
Interesting. I still need to watch 97.
I need to watch the actual one
The
from
original
97.
show,
Yeah.
So I watched a good chunk of that on my last trip. Real good.
It is real good. It really freaked me out as a child. That one, I don't know if you watched that far, but the one with Wolverine, and it might be even in the first season, I don't know, where he goes in to this alien, into the sewer where this alien is crash landed, and this green thing comes out and takes him over or something. It unnerved me as a child.
I probably watched all the episodes as a child. Do I remember any of the episodes? Not really.
Fair. Oh, yeah, I got to end the show, don't I?
So his own world over there.
His own realm.
Yeah, definitely. So this has been it's not even that short of an episode of Phased Out. We hope you didn't fall asleep and stayed with us. next week, I promise we'll cover a better movie. Jared, until then, where can they find us?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, the funny TikTok, and X,
Formerly known as Twitter.
and you can listen to Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Hey, if it's YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, ring our bell. Make sure you check us out and rate us, follow us on all those apps, and check out our groovy website.
And when you check us out on YouTube, when you like, subscribe, and ring that bell, just make sure you do ring that bell. You'll get notified every time we upload a new video, any new content. Until then, next week we'll be checking out Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right?
Yep, Volume 3, the 32nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Took them 32 movies to drop their first F-bomb.
And
They
it
let
took
Chris
them.
Pratt to do it.
I actually like that part.
I do too.
I laughed pretty hard.
I actually don't mind Chris Pratt in the next movie.
Yeah.
So
But regardless, if you want to keep on getting phased out with us, come on back next week.
Quantum.
Dead when real people have real problems, but when Wreck-It Ralph grabs that dang cookie necklace, I'm like,
I'm bad.
That's me! That's me!
I'm bad.
But I'm good!
Bolt up. Bolt up.
enough sports ball. Time to talk about Quantumania.
Yeah, no double fisting the table, please.
We getting quantum phased out.